Hola my loves, video number 2, numero dos. All right, so again, sending you peace, blessings, and abundance as always, because it's time for us to make that shit happen. Okay, it's time for us to manifest whatever the fuck we want to manifest. All right, so this is actually the video that I was going to be my first video. However, I was led to talk more about a experience that could have been negative. However, how I transmuted it into something positive to have one of my best meditation sessions in forever, you know. So yeah, so I'm going to get into this, and then I'm going to get into my meditation because I haven't done that yet. Today I've been doing all other things, and meditation time is definitely always needed, even though, you know, because today is a new day. That was yesterday, today is the new day, and I'm living in the now. So this video is about brooms, incense, and herbs. Oh my. So I received a message this sunrise about why our ancestors used brooms and incense, or how our ancestors used brooms, incense, and herbs on a spiritual note, not just the way that we utilize it in the physical perspective of how we use our broom to sweep out and clean our homes, which I actually use it to clean out the space that I'm staying in today. And also how we utilize them to bring about a certain type of energy in our home, and also to keep a certain energy out of our home. So that's really what this video is about. Okay. When I think about a broom, to be honest, I think about my childhood, how my mother pretty much swept the floors all the time. She wasn't really a vacuuming person. Not saying she never vacuumed. However, most of my memories are of her using a broom. And I know that she wasn't consciously aware of it, that she was actually doing something that had been in her mitochondria DNA probably since brooms freaking existed. And so she was not only cleaning out the space, the physical trash in the space, she was also cleaning out the energetic trash, or the negative trash or energy that she didn't want into the house. And there's actually a certain way that you are supposed to do it and everything. So I'm going to get into that aspect of it as well on my shamanship. And just talking about how we utilize the broom to sweep things into a particular direction in order to get the unwanted energy out. So also, when I had my place, I had a vacuum cleaner, but I also found myself using a broom most of the time. And I would say, oh, it's because the broom gets up most of the trash, which it does, because the broom gets all into the crevices and stuff of the walls. However, or the corners. However, still, that was that mitochondria coming from what I saw from my mother doing, and also what's in my mitochondria DNA, which is passed on from my mother and her mother, and so on and so forth. Which knows why that is the best way to clean out spiritual demons. Well, I don't normally use the word demons, but you know, negative energy, because to be honest, the demon is what they call our ancestors, the melanated, you know, beings on this planet. So I normally do not use that word. So to each his own, you know, because everybody has their own perspective to words. And so that's really how you can choose the words you should use based upon whatever energy, how it makes you feel. If you feel like that word is a negative energy, then you shouldn't use it, because you are going to bring about that negative energy to yourself. However, you don't see that word as being negative to your particular space, then it's really not going to have any impact on you in a negative way. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So like I said, our ancestors, they basically used brooms to sweep out negative spirits from their space that was spiritually and physically. All right. They would use the broom to sweep in the direction of a door or a window. So like how I have this door behind me, the sliding door. When I was sweeping earlier today, I was sweeping to the right. And in my last video, I talked about how your right hand is the sending hand and your left hand is the receiving hand, right? So with me sweeping to the right, it was literally like me sweeping out the negative energy, sending it out there so that the earth can, the air and the earth can transmute that energy into something that's more beneficial and positive for its space, okay? So that's the first thing I want you to think of when you're sweeping to the right. And I actually just naturally swept to the right. It may have a lot to do with the fact that my dominant hand is the right hand. However, yeah, sweeping to the right is letting the energy, sending it out, and the left is receiving it. I did see or read something that said that based upon what your dominant hand is, so like if your left hand is your dominant hand, then this would be your receiving hand. And if your right, meaning that will automatically make your right hand your receiving. If you're, I hope I said that right, guys. If you're, let me repeat it. If your left hand is the dominant hand, meaning that you write with your left hand and you do mostly everything with your left hand, that would make it the receiving, the sending hand. And then your right hand would then be the receiving hand. There's another exercise you can try to determine which one is which. You can clap your hands together 3 times. What that does is that activates these chakras, your solar plexus chakras in your hands. And then you rub it. And I do a circular motion with it too. Horizontal and circular there, right there. So you're warming it up, basically. That's like you igniting your energy, okay? And so you'll start feeling the energy pulsing in your hands. And then you start to place your hands about a couple of inches away from each other. And then you can feel which one is sending the energy and then which one is receiving the energy, okay? And so I can feel a lot of energy in my hands right now. It's really powerful, which shows that my solar plexus are getting stronger because I'm starting to utilize them more. Of course, the more you use something, the more stronger it gets. And I kept holding it like that because I kept feeling that energy. It's really powerful, y'all. I got to shake it off after I do that. You have to shake it off so that you can turn those puppies off, okay? Turn those bad boys off, because you'll literally still be feeling that energy surging in, because it's ready to start doing work, energy work. And since I'm not about to do any energy work right now, I have to calm that down. So anywho's, that's another way how you can feel it. So if, let's say that it feels like this hand is pushing out the energy, that means that is sending out the energy, then this would be the hand that will be considered to be your sending hand, and that means that this is your receiving hand. But for me, it feels like it could move both ways sometimes. However, it felt like this hand was the one that was actually receiving and this was sending. So, which makes sense because I'm predominantly right-handed. Anywho's, after that little exercise, that will help you determine which way you need to sweep out your energy. Okay? Now, a broom also can be utilized in other ways, which means by other ways, I mean you can utilize a broom. You can hang a broom over your door for protection. If you're going to do that, anything that you're going to utilize to plant in a space for protection, you want to place your intention on that broom. So you would basically say something like, and this is me just thinking of something right off the bat. The purpose of this spiritual instrument is to protect this sacred space from any negative energy that would come in and try to either steal or pollute the energy in this sacred space. Something like that, you know, just whatever you feel, you would say that over that item. And then so you're basically casting a spell, kind of, sort of, on that object, okay? And then you're gonna hang the broom up above your door. I actually think I remember back when I was a child, a family member having a broom in the house, and they had like a ribbon or something on the broom. So you can decorate it up and make it flow to fit your space. However, yeah, you can still hang it up there as protection in your front door, the inside of it. So that anybody that crossed over that threshold, whatever energy, either they wouldn't come in your home or whatever energy they had would have to just fall off of them, because it is not welcome in your space, okay? So now we're going to get into incense, all right? Oh, and actually, before I get into incense, something else just came to me that Also, the kitchen is a good place to put the broom, because you don't want that type of energy coming to a space where you're preparing food for others, for yourself or for others. Because just like your hands, like I was warming them up and getting them electrified for like to see which one was the receiving and the sending, just to show you the guys that exercise. Also, when people are preparing food, whoever's preparing that food, their hands, okay, something's flying here, their hands is letting off some form of energy. And if that person's energy is not right, then I don't care if that food tastes good, it is not going to do good things in your body. It is not going to. I promise you it won't. That's why I always knew you could not eat from anybody's house. Most people think, okay, because you don't know how somebody keeps their kitchen. True. That's important too, because everybody's not cleanly. However, just like their physical space is not cleanly, that means that their internal space is not cleanly. So I don't want to eat anything from a person whose internal spiritual space is not cleanly, okay? So you can place the broom above the door leading into your kitchen. And, you know, if you have multiple doors, like have two entries into your kitchen, you can place one above each door. Okay, and that'll enchant that item so that or object, so that it'll protect the space, so people can't bring that type of negative energy into your kitchen, into your cooking space. All right, now I'm going to jump into the incense. Okay, so our ancestors used incense not only the way we utilize them now, which is to fill our rooms with a pleasant aroma, like beautiful scents and smells. They used it to clean out negative energy or sweep out negative energy from the home. And of course, you can also use it for meditation purposes, like I did last night. I utilize it to cleanse out the energy before my meditation session, which is I can actually get into when I do another meditation video. All right, so what you do is you take the incense stick and you hold it like it's a wand. Okay, you're going to light the incense, of course, and then let the flames burn out. If you want, you can stare at the flame, because when you're staring at the flame, it's it is putting you in more of a trance state. And that'll allow you to be able to focus in a way, in order to be only focused on the intent of what that particular incense is going to do. You don't have to focus on it. It's just up to you. Okay. So after that burns out and then you start seeing the smoke come up. Smoke is very important. It has always been important to the indigenous people and our ancestors. So once the smoke starts to come up, that's when you want to start to utilize it as your wand. So you're going to do it in a sweeping motion. Again, if your sending hand is your right hand, you want to go ahead and sweep to the right. Sweep to the right and sweep out the negative energy. You want to sweep towards windows and doors only. Windows and doors. Otherwise, you're sweeping the energy into the house. You want to sweep it out of the house. Okay? If you want, you can also say something in your, either out loud, or you can say something in your head. A lot of times I'll say things in my head, and it could be just me setting the intention that it is clearing out all negative vibrations from this sacred space. And also you can add in visualization. So you can visualize this energy through your broom or through your incense being swept out the door or swept out the window. Okay. Now, I'm going to talk about some different incense that you can utilize for protection purposes. So the first incense that I want to get into, and also note that most of these you can use in ritual as well. Like I said, you can use it in meditation practice. You can use it in ritual. You can actually use a lot of these incense when you're doing healing, if you are a healer, because you want to protect that space from any healing that you're doing for yourself and for others. Okay. So frankincense is one of them. Frankincense releases negativity, and it relieves stress and anxiety at the same time. So that is a very good one to also use for healing purposes, because the person that you're working with, they could be experiencing stress and anxiety, and those aromas and that smell, along with the energy of that particular incense, will clear out stress and anxiety. Also, burning it will surround and protect your house or your sacred space. And I always like to think of a house as a sacred space because it has you in it. Okay. And at the same time, it will open up your mind, your heart, and your space to peaceful and harmonious energies. So that's frankincense. And frankincense is a very ancient scent, and it's been used by shamans for a plethora of years. I couldn't even tell you, thousands of years, maybe even millions of years. It's definitely one of the first incense you would have in your arsenal. So myrrh, frankincense and myrrh. Myrrh can be used along with frankincense in combination, or it can be used on its own. It is also used to ward off evil, what they call evil, I'll just say negative energies, and purify the space it is burned in. So it wards off the negative energy, and then it purifies it. So that's like having, to me, some black stones and some white stones. The black stones, which will protect you and to ward the evil, ward the negative energy out, and then your white stones to purify the space. Dragon's blood is used to enhance energy, and also it draws spiritual protection. So again, if you are meditating, that is a great one to have, because it has spiritual protection while you're at your most spiritual state a lot of times, because you're in a meditative trance. This will be a great one to utilize. Sandalwood is used to cleanse and purify. It also helps to release pent-up emotions. This is another one that's good to use if you're a healer. And again, if you're healing yourself or others, because it is allowing people to get out certain emotions. So this is something where a person might actually start crying while you're doing a healing session, because they're able to release things that they have been holding on to for a very long time. Peppermint. Oh, yep, it's one of the cats. I knew I heard something. Peppermint is used to cleanse negative and stagnant energies, also, and also to attract prosperity, and that's peppermint. So if you have a stagnant energy that's just kind of, it's like a cloud, like a gray cloud that's just been hovering over it, hovering over you, or like really, like some people's aura is like a gray cloud just hovering over them. So it's that stagnant energy that's just been staying there, that won't move, that's holding all the hot humidity in there, so it's really hot outdoors. That is what's happening in your inside environment. So you can utilize peppermint to clear out that energy, and also it attracts prosperity, so why not? African violet. African violet, it protects and promotes spirituality within the house. Okay, so that is a beautiful thing. Promoting the type of spiritual energy that you want in your home is definitely something that you want to do. You don't want to not only want to repel and get rid of negative energy, you also want to grow the type of energy that you want. It's like a garden. You know, you want to get the weeds out of there, but at the same time, you want to grow like your fruits and vegetables, whatever you're growing out in your garden. That's what you want to foster, and that's what you want to nourish. All right. Basil. You can not only cook with basil, you can also have a basil incense. It protects against negative entities, and it also attracts fidelity, love, good luck, sympathy, and wealth. So that's also a good one to have in your house. And also, if you are a spiritual healer, I think that basil will be great, because again, it's protecting against any negative entities coming into that sacred space. And then also it can help with good luck, love, sympathy, and wealth. So if that's something your client is working on, then you can focus on giving them that, or helping them get to that expense. I shouldn't say giving, helping them get to that particular point or aspect in their life. And then the last one, even though it's multiple more, and I might go ahead and post some of these incense on my Instagram. I just have to do my meditation first, then I'll come back to this stuff. So last but not least, everybody knows sage is a girl's best friend, or a shaman's best friend, or a Sha woman's best friend. So sage is protection against all forms of negative energies. That's why it's one of the most popular ones, because it protects against all forms of negative energy. It also purifies sacred spaces. So it has the protection and the purification aspect, instead of you having to do two different incense. It promotes wisdom, clarity. It attracts money, and aids in healing the body, mind, and soul. So a lot of times what I do is I utilize sage before meditation, and I'll encircle, like go around myself to cleanse my bodies. Auric field, so like the etheric body, the physical body, the etheric body, and then I start getting into all the other subtle bodies, the subtle energies that we have. And that is to cleanse it as well, because we sometimes forget that we are walking antennas and we are picking up on other people's signals though. So just think of your aura as your antenna above your head. And so if somebody else has a weak signal, or they have some type of negative aspect going on, or energy going on in their auric field, the closer you are to that person, you are going to pick up that energy. Your auric field will. And once your auric field picks it up, then it's going to come down, because everything comes in through your crown chakra. It's going to come in through your crown chakra and then make its way down to your pineal. So it's going to start to pollute all of your chakras, right? You don't want that, right? So in order to go ahead and prevent that, as a preventative measure, you can go ahead and start utilizing some of these incense to wand around your physical being, your etheric being, and all of your subtle bodies, your energy, and go ahead and rid yourself of those things. All right. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about that you can utilize to protect yourself, okay, and for other reasons, is different plants or flowers or herbs, whatever you want to call them. We're going to call them herbs, okay? So the herbs can be utilized in your to put above your doorways and your windows, and also in places in your homes. What you would do in your house, what you would do basically is you would bundle these herbs. You can utilize some type of rope or whatever to tie them in order to, you know, because when you bundle things, you want it to, and it's going to be displayed in your house, you want it to be kind of decorative. You don't just want it to be like you just put something together and the only purpose of it is for protection. That's the most important reason for it, of course, or purpose for it. However, I still like to make things look pretty. So you would bundle it, and then you could use some rope. You can dye the rope a particular color. The reason why I bring up color is because we know that color is not just something that we think is pretty or represents a certain team that we like, or that maybe your favorite color to wear or whatever. Color is also energy. So color represents your elements, like earth, air, fire, and water. How red would be fire. And if you decided to utilize a red ribbon, you could do so. Or you can dye like your rope. If you wanted it to be more of an earthy type feel in your room, you can use some type of rope. And then you could dye that rope so that it could fit the energy that you want to have in that room. Okay, and you can do that really whatever color you want to do. If you want to have more of an air element, like that room could be, because when I think of my house that I'm creating or manifesting, I think about having a room for every element: earth, air, fire, water, ether. So that each room, when I go into each room, is giving me a different type of energy, and that way that means that it's giving a different type of energy to my chakras. And so when I walk into that room, it's an automatic boost to a particular chakra. That's how I think about a house, how a house should be. Okay. Okay, I got totally. Oh, I was talking about bundling them. And I went all the way to decorating. Excuse me, guys. That's that feminine energy. So, yeah. So after you bundle it, the next thing you want to do is you want to set the intention. Like I said, setting intentions is very important. You set your intentions for your stones. Like I just got turquoise. And so I'm going to set some intentions for this. I'm actually going to go and program pretty much all my stones. This is going to take some time because I have probably about 60 stones now, because I love stones. I know that they are definitely living beings. They are may not be animated. They're inanimate objects. However, the life that's in them is so powerful. And of course, each stone has its own vibration and frequency. So some are more the higher frequency than others. However, they all have their importance in our lives. And I know that one day I'm probably gonna own a stone store on the beach somewhere, and you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, is that Knowledge Butterfly?" Yeah, that is she. Okay, with all the stones, come on in, and we'll get you right. Okay, so yeah, so setting your intentions is important. So you set your intentions, like I said, you do for your broom. You set your intentions when you're doing your incense sweeping with the one, and you also set your intentions with your bundles of herbs, okay? So after you set your intentions, then you're going to hang it in the most prosperous place for that energy to be magnified. All right, that's the way I'll put it. So certain herbs will be best to hang above your front door, so that whoever or whatever is considered your front door, so that the energy that comes into your door is only beneficial to you. It's not somebody bringing in any type of negative energy. And that's why I don't say I want only positive people around me. I want people around me who carry a certain type of energy, meaning that the energy that they're bringing in is not to harm me in any type of way. A person is not considered negative energy just because they say things that you don't like what they say. Negative energy is something like, it's like a parasite. It's parasitic. It is something that is infecting the spiritual body and causing sickness. That is not a type of energy I want to be around, okay? Now, what was I saying? Okay, so I talked about the bundles, the intentions, and hanging. So now I'm going to get into the different types of herbs that you can utilize. We're going to start out with chamomile. No, it is not just a tea. Yeah, you can drink it and get a good night's sleep and all of that. It calms you, it's peaceful and all that jazz. However, it's also for purification and protection. So you can bundle it up and it'll give you protection as well. Now, it can also be used for good luck because it's considered to be a lucky flower. So you can place it in particular areas in your house where you, for instance, like in your closet or wherever you keep your money. You can place it in that area and magnify the energy of good luck as well. Okay. It's another herb. I had never heard of this one before, but it's called hyssop. It's Hyssop. And that particular herb can rid a house of negativity. And so that one's a great one to have if you're working on not having a negative frame of thought or thought process, not always thinking about what could go wrong or not always thinking about what you feel like you do not have. If you want to get rid of that type of energy, hyssop is a good herb to have. Now we're going to move on to lavender. And I wrote a little bit more about lavender because lavender actually intrigued me. I learned some things about it, so I want to share that with you guys. So lavender is actually thought to bring love. Did you know that? So it is actually used in love spells. Fancy that. So if you want to bring love your way, lavender is something that you should have around your house. Lavender is also used to bring calmness and peace. And you can actually place it near your bed to help with sleep because lavender as well as chamomile are herbs that you can drink as a tea, but to get that same type of effect. However, if you don't really drink tea, you can actually place it in your bed, near your bed to get the same effect. All right. And also bring some love your way. The next one I want to talk about is called patchouli, and that's Patchouli. And it is used for repelling negative energy. And it's best for you to place that above your door. So it's best if you use that at your front door. You can use it above your bedroom door. You can use it in your kitchen. You can place it wherever, doors, windows. If you have a table that's in front of a window, you can place it on that table. Because to me, if you think about your doors and your windows as entryways in for energy. Okay. One thing I just thought about, I have to give thanks to my higher self. When you are letting negative energy out using incense, using a broom, you want to open that window. Because a closed window, I mean, if the window opens, a closed window really is not, kind of like defeating the purpose of doing that. The purpose is you're opening the door or the window so you can let in the type of energy you want in, and you can let out the energy you do not want in, right? It's just like you have to open a door to go out of it or to come into it. and you have to open the window to let air in, you have to open the window to let things out as well. All right, the next one is called Pennyroyal. It is associated with money. However, it is also connected to strength and protection. That is, to me, one of the most important parts. Not that money, you know, isn't great. It is great to have money and you can utilize it for that purpose. However, just know that you can also use it to bring about strength and protection. It is also used to ward off what they call the evil eye. Or you can call something a hex or a curse. Someone tries to hex or curse you. And also to keep hostile energies away. So that is one that you would actually hang above your front door. That is the main place you would put it. If you want to put it other places, feel free. However, you definitely want to have it above your front door. And then the last one that I'm going to talk about before I end this video is rosemary. So rosemary, not only can you cook with it, I remember when I ate chicken, I had rosemary chicken before, and I know that that's a popular dish. However, rosemary can also be used to rid your home of negative energy. So you can hang that on your front door and it will keep harmful people away, people who basically want to steal from you. So if someone tried to burglarize your house, or even if you let somebody in and they maybe thought about swiping something out of your house, swiper, no swiping, swiper, no swiping, you can put some rosemary in your front door and that'll change the whole game. They won't even be able to take from you because the energy from the rosemary will be protecting it. All right. So that's it for my brooms, incense, and herbs. Oh my particular video. I just want to share this with you guys. Like I said, it was something that came to me from higher self, and I knew that I wanted to be able to bliss your lives with it and share and pass on that information to you. So again, as always, I want to thank you guys for watching and checking out this video, sharing your comments about anything that you utilize to protect your space or protect yourself. And also maybe not even for protection, you might just utilize it to bring about other things in your life. Go ahead and share that in the comments because I love to know those things as well. And please go ahead and hit the like on there as well, and check out my Instagram, Knowledge Butterfly. Check out my Facebook, Knowledge Butterfly, as well, that I have to update. And I just really appreciate you guys. I love you. I thank you so much for being who you are. Never stop being who you are, no matter what anybody else thinks, my loves. Peace.